Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. On today's episode of me talking about some of the things, I'm going to be going over episode 9 of season 19. Now before I continue, please check out the links in the description below. I highly recommend the surveys. I've been making sure to update them with the season 19 survivalists, and I've even decided to redo the redemption survey that I made, and I've been adding the individuals who have tapped on season 19 to that list. So please check out all the lists, make sure to share them with anyone else, and advocate for who you want to be voted for. And unfortunately, there's only one response per person based off of a Google sign-in. So if there's someone who hasn't shown up yet on season 19 you want to vote for, then feel free to wait and then vote for them when I add them to the list. Now onto the episode. We open with Skye being mid-tap from her first 21-day challenge. We then flash to Thailand, and Skye is back for redemption and says she will be there the whole time. We then see Mike, who tapped from his previous challenge in Kalahari in 2022. His starting PSR is a 6.2, while Skye's starting PSR is a 6.3. The two meet, chat about their previous experiences, and after hearing that Mike tapped himself out of his challenge, Skye expresses worry that since he has done it in the past, he may do it again, but she admires his willingness to try again. And then the two get their bags. They're both given a pot and fire starter, and Skye's item is a knife and Mike's is a mosquito net. They check out the map and head to their water source 4.3 miles away. They build their shelter, which is a tree-supported lean-to, and Mike mentions a cyclone is coming their way because he checked the weather before insertion, and he mentions he's worried about the weather, and he unfortunately loses his lunch due to dehydration, which drops his PSR from 6.2 to 6.1. We then hear Skye worrying about how he tapped out in the past and he could do it again. It then begins to rain. It rains that night and their shelter is leaking. Mike is irritated by the situation and Skye tries to give him a pep talk. The next morning it is raining and cold, but the two still have work to do. They work on rebuilding their shelter, and unfortunately they're both being affected by the excessive moisture, which can macerate the skin, which causes clear fluid to leak out. That night it rains again and Mike doesn't want to tap due to excessive moisture, and he may get trench foot, or he talks about potentially getting trench foot from the situation since it's difficult for them to dry their feet and hands. And then day 3, the two aren't able to get a fire and are being affected by the cold. The two try to look for dry tinder and manage to locate a teak tree, which has water-resistant wood due to the natural oils. Mike has made a few comments about leaving and Skye is worried, but I would like to point out that due to editing, he may not have said it as frequently as shown, or he said it a few times, and since it's an hour-long episode and is condensed down, they may be saying every single time and make it look like it all happened at once when it could have been more spread out. And he may have just been venting frustrations and may not have been saying that day in and day out and maybe just made a few side comments. And they manage to get a fire, and Mike's PSR rises from 6.1 to 6.3, and Skye's PSR rises from 6.3 to 6.5. Unfortunately, their good moods are soiled by the rain that lasts into the night. Day 4, the rain continues, and Mike's PSR drops from 6.3 to 6.2 as he talks about the pain in his feet, and he may be in the beginning stages of trench foot. Day 6, and there is more rain. Mike is worried, and Skye helps him by giving him a pep talk. That night, there is, you guessed it, more rain. Mike wants to leave. Day 7, Mike is emotionally spent. Skye is also being worn down by the rain. Mike asks her if she can make it by herself since he wants to go, and he decides to leave the challenge. His PSR drops from 6.2 to 4.9, and this is the third tap out of the season. Skye wants to make it to the end and redesigns her shelter to make it smaller, and so the fire will be easier to maintain and she can keep herself warm. Day 8, there is a break in the rain. Day 9, Skye goes foraging and mentions mushrooms, and she manages to find termite mushrooms and knows that they're edible, and she picks some to eat. Her PSR rises from 6.5 to 6.7. Day 10, there's more rain and she's having difficulty with the fire. Day 11, and Skye mentions that her last challenge, she was med-tapped on day 11 and she doesn't want that to happen again. She manages to get a fire later on, but is unable to maintain it since she doesn't have a partner to help gather some things to maintain the fire, and her PSR drops from 6.7 to 6.6. Day 12, Skye is dehydrated and a medic is called for her. Her PSR continues to drop from 6.6 to 6.5 as she is told she needs to drink water or else she'll be medically tapped. And then she looks for flammable tree sap and manages to find a rubber tree and is able to use that sap to create a fire, and she's able to boil water, and so her PSR rises from 6.5 to 6.6. Day 13, Skye wants to find some crabs. She makes a bamboo torch and uses that to help her hunt crab at night. Day 16, she uses the bug net to make a fishing net and decides not to really go crab fishing anymore because it's a little dangerous trying to crawl over the rocks at night. It rains again for several hours. Day 18, Skye's PSR drops from 6.7 to 6.5 as it continues to rain, and she checks on her net for food and manages to get 2 fish, but they are unfortunately unalive. We then cut to commercial, and then we see the survival kit where Skye is doing foot care with a plant called the smelly tiger, where she puts it in between her toes, and that helps ease her pain from the excessive moisture. After the commercial break, we come back to Skye talking about how she's going to use the unalive fish as bait for crabs, and she is worried about the extraction hike. That night she goes crab hunting because she needs food and manages to capture a crab and gets necessary protein. Her PSR rises from 6.5 to 6.8. Day 21, and it is extraction day. Skye hikes 2.4 miles to her extraction point and successfully completes the challenge. Hooray! And her extraction is a little bit different because she rides an elephant, and I just wanted to point out that unfortunately elephant rides aren't really the best for the elephants because of the training that goes into elephants that are used for riding, and it also causes them physical pain as well to have that weight on their back. And I believe a lot of places that have elephant rides has been closed down, and the elephants are in sanctuaries. I don't know if all the elephants were taken to sanctuaries, but I know a lot of elephants that were used for riding were taken to sanctuaries to where they can have a peaceful life. And so it's an interesting extraction, but hopefully they never do it again. But she successfully completes the challenge, and she lost 30 pounds, and her PSR goes from 6.3 to 7.5. Congratulations to her on completing her redemption challenge. She did an incredible job and showed mental fortitude, and hopefully we can see her on another challenge. Now, I just want to make a note that we've seen 2 individuals looking for a redemption. One has completed the redemption challenge, one unfortunately did not. Will we have more redemption seekers? Yes. I don't know how many more, but I know we have at least one more because Kyle, who was Riley's first partner in season 9, I believe he is coming back for a redemption 21-day challenge. So that'll be interesting to see. And I also wanted to say that with all the rain and whatnot, that might have broken a lot of people to cause them to tap. And be nice to Mike because he has gone through it on his challenges, and it's unfortunate that he left, but, be nice. Support your faves. Don't send any hate. Don't comment so negatively about people, at least on the True Fans page, because, be nice. And if Michael wants to try again, Amber and Andrew Shade are proof that third time's the charm because they both tapped on their first 2 challenges but completed their 3rd challenge. So it is possible, but I'm sure there needs to be a lot of things that need to work out for it to work out. So hopefully, if he does come back, I wish him luck and he can make it. And if he doesn't want to come back, then we should all respect his decision, and also please be nice. And I also wanted to point out that the illness that got Skye tapped was not from the water that she drank earlier that day. I'm sure she probably got it a few days beforehand, and then on day 11 was when it became too much and she had to be med tapped. I don't think drinking simmering water is going to get you that sick to where you have to be med tapped immediately. But again, be nice. Don't send hate. It really stinks if people have to be med tapped or if they self tap, but, oh well. Anyway, next episode, Alone and Terrified. For the first time ever, 2 survivalists are forced to spend the first night of their 21-day challenge completely alone in Botswana's treacherous Okavango Delta. Raging storms, swarming mosquitoes, and starvation push them both to the brink. Dun dun dun. Will we see another tap out? We shall see. Thank you all so much for listening. Please like, comment nice things, and subscribe. And I hope you all have a wonderful day. Thank you. Bye-bye.